Last time we talked about how we can find the slope of a line from its graph. Today we're going to be working from an equation and graphing that line. Alright, so let's start off with what slope-intercept form is. Remember that's y equals mx plus b. Remember that m is the slope, and that's rise over run, and b is the y-intercept. In other words, this is going to indicate where the line crosses the y-axis. Now there are a couple steps to graphing in slope-intercept form. First, you'll want to identify your slope and y-intercept from the equation. If your equation is not in slope-intercept form, then you'll have to put it into slope-intercept form first. Next, you'll plot your y-intercept on the y-axis. Then, after you have that point on there, you'll use your slope to find a second point on the line. Once you have that second point, then you can simply draw a line going through both of those points. If you want to put more points down to help you draw your line, that's fine, but you only need 2 points in order to draw a line. Let's look at some examples. So here in example 1, we have y equals 1/2 x plus 4. So let's start by identifying the slope and the y-intercept. So the slope is 1/2 and the y-intercept is 4. Now the slope indicates to us how far up and to the right it goes. So in this case, the slope means we will go up 1 and to the right 2 to get to the next point. Now let's start by graphing the y-intercept. That's at 4. So on my y-axis, I'm going to find 4. And then once I have that, now I can use the slope to find a second point. So from this point, I'm going to go up 1 and to the right 2. There's my second point. Again, you can continue going up 1 and to the right 2 to get more points to draw your line, but really you only need these 2 points to draw this line. Alright, example 2. We have y equals -3/4 x minus 2. Now first identify the slope and the y-intercept. So the slope is -3/4. That means it's going to be going down 3 and to the right 4. And then the y-intercept is at -2. So let's start at -2 on the y-axis. Alright, so now let's go ahead and use the slope to find a second point. So starting with the point we already have, I'm going to go down 3 and to the right 4. And now I can draw the line. Alright, let's do another example. Y equals 2x plus 1. So in this case, even though we don't have a fraction for our slope, we can write 2 as 2 over 1. That way, we know that this is not only going to shift up 2, but also to the right 1. Alright, and then the y-intercept is at 1. So now we can go ahead and start with the y-intercept, find 1 on the y-axis, and now to find another point, I'm going to go up 2 and to the right 1. And now I have 2 points and I can draw my line. Alright, we also have 2 special cases. In the first one, this will be of the form y equals a number. And in the second one, this will be of the form x equals a number. And by a number, I simply mean that there is just a value on the other side. So y equals 7 or x equals -2. So in this form, y equals some number, this is going to be a horizontal line. And when x equals a number, this is a vertical line. What this really means is that in this first case, this one with the horizontal line, well, if it's a horizontal line, what does that mean? That means it does not rise at all. It just has some amount to run. That means that the slope is going to be 0. On the other hand, with a vertical line, this means it only has a rise portion, but not a run portion. That means there is a 0 on the denominator of the slope, which means that the slope is going to be undefined. So the slope in the first case is 0, in the second case it's undefined. So say for example you had y equals 2. This is a horizontal line, and to graph this, you would find 2 on the y-axis, and then you would draw a horizontal line. For a vertical line, for example, if you had x equals 4, you would find 4 on the x-axis, and then draw a vertical line going through that point.